three-pointer. Bang! Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Hello, what's going on, guys?
Shut up, bro. We got the Lakers against the Memphis. Playoff prediction. Everybody here knows that we're Lakers fans, but we're gonna try to keep it real. But we do gotta say we got the Lakers winning this series.
And what, in 6?
In 6 games.
Let's just break it down.
So yeah, actually talking about this series.
Let's preview it a little bit. Okay, so I think the most important thing for the Lakers to do this series is, one, I think they got to target Jaren Jackson Jr. defensively. I know that sounds crazy, right?
That does sound insane, bro.
Defensive player of the year, but what you got to do is get him into foul trouble. I think if the Lakers are able to do that, then they're not necessarily that it's going to be easy, but it's obviously going to make things easier because Jaren Jackson Jr. is such a great paint protector.
And they already missing Steven Adams, they're missing Brandon Clark. And
yeah.
They're pretty much leaving them only like one good center in Xavier Tillman.
Yeah. And maybe Santi Aldama.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's more of a scorer.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that I will also say, you're going to have to try to find a way to stop Ja Morant. Now, great players, all-time players, you can't necessarily stop them. And I think Ja Morant is one of the best players in the NBA, and I think the personnel that we have isn't necessarily
the best to stop. Let's just give it real.
What I would do, and what I've seen a lot of people recommend, is playing a drop coverage, which that could be scary for some Laker fans because we've done it before and it hasn't necessarily worked. Yeah, and that's kind of what we did against the Timberwolves.
That gives us bad flashbacks. But against Ja Morant, that's somebody
it makes sense. Now, if they're gonna do that, they have to really commit to being able to rotate. You know what I'm saying? If you blitz Ja, you put 2 players on the ball, take the ball away from him. You got to remember that Luke Kennard and Desmond Bane are 2 of the best shooters in the NBA, so you got to definitely get out to them. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's been scoring really, really well, so that's a guy that you got to get to. And you would obviously want a player like Dylan Brooks to be taking all the shots, but obviously that's not necessarily how it's going to go.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I think Dylan Brooks is actually going to be an important player in the series because if he's just going out there breaking, then they're going to start leaving him open. And we saw it in the last game that the Lakers had against them. That LeBron didn't play, obviously, but it was a very close game. Dylan Brooks is horrible, like 3 or 14, something like that. And if you can leave him open, then the whole drop coverage guarding Ja Morant becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
So Dylan Brooks, we have seen him have good games. We have seen him get on fire now and then. So I think it's gonna be an important game. Obviously, he should have a few good games in there. And at the end of the day, he's a tough defender. And we actually think that AD is gonna be really important in the series, maybe more important than LeBron, because they have a lot of people to throw LeBron and. Obviously, he's going to have to meet Jaren Jackson Jr. at the rim.
And keeping it 1,000, I know a lot of people don't like saying this, but Dylan Brooks has done a really good job.
He's a good defender, bro. He's a good defender.
He's done a good job on LeBron before.
He's an annoying player for a reason. He's one of the most annoying players, and he's effective at what he does.
Yeah.
And just a quick comment, there's not basketball, but I just want to say that this series is going to be super, super toxic. If I have somebody say that, Twitter is going to be going crazy because you're going to have Memphis. We all know how Memphis are. They like to celebrate. They like to trash talk. And LeBron's actually had some encounters with them like 2 years ago. He was telling them, oh, you guys got to be quiet, don't be disrespectful. Dylan Brooks has become like the biggest enemy of the whole NBA. He was already saying like he's excited to face LeBron because of this and that. And the Lakers, one of the most controversial teams in the NBA. People always like to hit on them.
Now, of course, this is a playoff preview. We can't just talk about the Lakers. So I would say from the Memphis Grizzlies side, they shouldn't necessarily be scared. They should have won this challenge. I know they definitely won this challenge. They're a very confident team. But for them, I think the first thing that you got to do, I think you got to start Xavier Tillman. I know they've been starting Luke Kennard recently. I think you got to go with Xavier Tillman.
You got to go big.
You got to go big just to get Jaren Jackson Jr. out of AD and putting him on Vanderbilt and putting him on Vanderbilt. I think that would be best for them. And whatever, let Xavier Tillman get into foul trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever. You prefer that or
exactly. So by doing that, you can save Jared Vanderbilt. By doing that, you can save
Jaren Jackson Jr.
By doing that, you can save Jaren Jackson Jr. towards the fourth quarter to actually guard AD. I think that'll be a lot better. Now, Ja Morant, he's probably the most important player for this team because they really have no answer for them. D'Angelo Russell can't necessarily guard him. Austin Reeves, not athletic for him. Jared Vanderbilt, he has the athleticism, but he doesn't have the foot speed. So this is going to be a very, very important series for Ja Morant. This is going to be a legacy-defining series, and I think if he's able to win this series, it's going to be very important for him. But last year, we saw them make some mistakes. Obviously, they're probably going to fix it.
Yeah, they almost lost to Timberwolves in the first round.
Taylor Jenkins is a great coach. He's better than Darvin Ham, for sure. But yeah, I think their shooters are also going to be really, really important, especially a guy like Desmond Bane and Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard's been shooting amazingly. But to counter that, I think that LeBron's probably going to target Luke Kennard defensively like he always does. He always targets the worst player. But going again back to the Lakers side, D'Angelo Russell has to play better, man. He's got to be able to. Obviously, he can't compete with John Morant. He's not as good as John Morant, but he's got to be able to make John Morant guard him, make John Morant struggle, make John Morant actually exert some energy. That's one thing that we do have. You know, Gilbert Arenas always says the best defense is good offense. You know what I'm saying? If John Morant has to chase D'Angelo Russell or Austin Reeves, whoever they decide to put him around for an entire game, then that's gonna tire him out. So definitely want to do that. Another thing, the Grizzlies love to play in transition. The Lakers are very bad transit.
They got a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, the Lakers are very bad in also defending transition. So that's gonna be interesting. But the Lakers also like to get in transition. So it's gonna be a really interesting series. Both are two of the best defenses in the NBA. Both are two of the best teams in the NBA after the All-Star break. So it's gonna be a great matchup.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say this. I think this series is gonna set the tone for both teams. If Memphis loses the series, then you're gonna kind of realize that they're still not there yet. They need a few more years. Maybe they gotta make some changes. And if the Lakers lose, then not that it makes everything that they did in the second half of the year like pointless or anything. It's still very impressive, but then you gotta go into offseason with some questions, and then maybe like the team, even though whether right or wrong, it might not come back the way we see them right now. But if the Lakers win, then they prove like, oh, we're here. We're one of the contenders, because a lot of us as fans, we've been talking about it, like the Lakers have a chance to make it to the finals. But this is the series to prove it. It's a tough opponent, first round. You just came out of a crazy playing game. You just came out of being one of the best teams in the NBA after the All-Star break. I think number one. So if you win this series, it's a big statement for the Lakers. And if Memphis wins it, then it's a big statement for them because they're beating a LeBron and AD team in the playoffs. And I think if they win this series and they look good doing it, then you can start talking about Memphis like genuinely being able to make it to the finals.
Yeah,
that's not something that I'm hearing a lot. Everybody's saying the Suns.
I would say the big reason for that too. Sorry to cut you off. I would say is because they're missing Steven Adams and Brandon Clark. I know that doesn't sound that big because Steven Adams, for example, he didn't play last year in the Warriors series. But I think with that is just that obviously Steven Adams is actually one of the better players. He's great defensively, helps out Jaren Jackson Jr. a lot. And missing Brandon Clark too, basically your sixth man. So that is tough to lose two valuable role players. Steven Adams, I think if they make it, if they advance, I know right now he's out, but I think if they advance, then
that's what I'm saying. Especially against the Lakers, that's a big loss.
Against
all the teams, you can afford to not have him as much because against the Warriors, I don't know if he'll play that much anyways.
Yeah. But
against the Lakers, that's a big loss. If they can survive this series, then let's see where they go from there. They're gonna go against the Warriors, but we're not gonna get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So even though we do have the Lakers winning in 6, it's not a for sure. Like we said, we give a lot of credit to Memphis. They have had an incredible season, been the number 2 seed the whole time, and obviously they had a lot of controversy. So I know Ja Morant is locked in to prove himself, to prove that he's not this troublemaker that they're making him out to be. That he's a superstar. And then you have like Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain, a lot of good players on that team. That's a great team. But I'm gonna go with my team, the Lakers, the team that I think is better, to prove themselves and to prove that they're here to contest for a championship. So that's it. Lakers in 6. I don't know if you have anything else to say.
I definitely agree. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, give us your predictions down below, and peace out.
Peace out.